Moving on to the back of the shoulder rest here, let's grab all of these edges right around here and let's extrude them out and then mold them to the shape of this piece here. So I'll extrude and then I'll just pull out in the X some like that. And I need to scale in the Z here, SZ, and scale out in the Z some like that. Now that we've got that pulled out beyond this piece here, let's go ahead and select a few of these edges and try and scale them to flatten them up. So I'll press S and X and let's flatten these up here and then move them to fit this right here. Now I think what I'd like to do is have this point be in line with this edge right here and this over here like this. And I'll move that down. So let's then take these 3 points and scale them in the Z, flatten them up like that. There we go. We also need to do the bottom down here. It looks like these are already pretty straight, so I'll just grab these and pull them up some like that. Maybe give them a little bit of a scale in the Z. There we go. Now I'll grab all of this. Maybe not these up here, but all of these along the side and the bottom, and let's hit E and Y and pull these forward to here. Let's then take this point and move it forward up to say here like that. Now we're going to need an edge to hold this right here. So let's go ahead and insert an edge loop right here and then take this point and move it back like this. So yeah, it looks like no, we're going to need to move this like this. There we go. And take this edge and move it forward. So we'll extrude this, move it up, say to here, and we'll take this point right here and move it all the way out to here like that. All right, so now let's take this edge here and extrude it in the x-axis and connect them up. We'll maybe take this edge and move it out just a bit. There we go. Up here we could begin connecting these up. It looks like we're going to need an edge right here. So now we need to connect these two edges with the front part right up here. The problem is we don't have enough edges to connect them up. We need to insert edge loops to match these two here. So let's come over here and insert an edge loop, say right here. And let's also insert an edge loop right here as well. So now we should be able to take these two and these two, press Control E and bridge edge loops. And there we go. Let's come down here and work on this part now. We can select this edge here. Let's take a look at it here. It looks like it needs to come in except for right here. I better take this and move this out just a bit like this. And that will allow me to create an edge right in here. So let's take this one and extrude in and maybe pull it down some like this. Maybe pull this down a little bit too. And then we can grab this, maybe I'll select this and this, Alt-M at last there. And now it looks like we could take this edge and this all the way down here and extrude those in. So E, and I'll move them in the X. Move them out in the Y just a bit here. Need to find where those points are. There they are. Connect those up. Let's go connect these up down here. It looks like it kind of tapers in, so I will maybe pull these up some like that, and then maybe extrude these out and up just a little bit. so they're in line with this. Maybe connect these up. There we go. And now I'll begin bringing this piece down. So I'll select these edges here, and I want to begin bringing this down around this padded piece here. So I'm going to go back to my side view and just begin hitting E and moving the mouse and just going around this piece like this. And I'll kind of bring this straight down like this, and then maybe I'll bring it all the way down to here, and then down like that. So now we have something that looks like that. What I need to do is connect these up now, and to do that I need to have as many edges over here as I have along here, and I don't have that quite yet. So it looks like I've got maybe one that I can use here for this, one for this. I may go ahead and insert an edge loop here. So now I've got this, this, and this for this, this, and this. I can press Control E and bridge edge loops here. Let's try that. Now I need some edge loops to fit along here. So there's one that matches there, there, and there. So let's try these three now. And bridge edge loops. There we go. I need some for down here. Maybe one here, one here. Now let's try this, this, and this. For these three here, Control E, bridge edge loops. And for down here, it looks like I'm going to need an extra edge loop down here. Let's see if I insert an edge loop right here, where will that go? That will go just to right there, which tells me that we've got a problem here, which tells me that these aren't connected quite yet, are they? So let's go back, let's undo this, and let's fix this up right in here. So here is that piece. So I need to get these two connected up. The reason why the edges didn't go through there is because they weren't connected. So now let's try this again. Let's connect this up, and yeah, you can see the edge loops going all the way through there. And they've gone to right here, which tells me that these are not hooked up. Very similar issue here. And it looks like we've got edges here that aren't connected up as well. So I'll go ahead and do that. And now, do I want to insert yet another edge loop along here to connect these up? Let's see. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and do it for now. And in the end, you can always take away edge loops. I think it's a good practice to get in to try and connect everything up at the beginning, and then at the end you can always find places where you can remove edge loops. Alright, they've gone ahead, and it looks like we can go ahead and connect these and these up, so I'll do that, merging these points together. I'm going to go ahead and insert an edge loop right here, as well as inserting an edge loop here, and it quit right here because that's a triangle. It's now a quad, but it was a triangle, and that's why that edge loop quit there. So now what I'd like to do is take this one and move it back just a hair, take this and move it forward just a hair, and then it looks to me like we could take these edges and hit F, and maybe these and hit F, and we could close that up there. To get the geometry for this piece here, it looks like I'm going to need to insert an edge loop here and connect these points up. And then I think I'll insert edge loops here and here. And then what let's do is let's just grab these edges and extrude these straight up like this. And let's go to our side view and kind of move them around to get them in place. So I'll just kind of bring this right here. This one, say, over here. And I'm just trying to generally get that curve that we have there in the geometry. Now I'll take these faces here, just move them in a bit, like this. And then I'll grab these edges right here and extrude these and move them in the X. And there we go. We're almost done. We just need to put a couple of cylinders here. And to do that, let's just create a cylinder, give it 12 sides, a cap fill of triangle fan. And while we have this here, I'll go ahead and duplicate it as well. We're going to need 2. So the first one we can go ahead and bring down here and put in this area right down here like this. And it looks like we're going to need just a little bit of an extrusion or something in here. Let's select these and hit E and then pull this down and then scale this in just a little bit like that. There we go. And now let's just fit this right over like so. Next, let's get this piece here. So I'll grab this and rotate it around the X. We don't need the faces back here. And now I just need to move it and put it in place. So now we have our low poly object built up around our high poly one. I'll go ahead and go to layer 3 here, and this piece still has a mirror modifier on it. So let's go ahead and apply that with clipping. Let's make sure, does anything else have a mirror or anything on it? Nope. Okay. So let's go ahead and select everything and press Ctrl J to combine it all. I'll go ahead and move the origin to the geometry. Now what we need to do is let's go in here and select everything in edit mode and press Ctrl V, and let's use the remove doubles tool to check if we have any overlapping vertices. Looks like we had 2, and those were combined and taken care of. That's good. In addition, let's go ahead and add a subsurf modifier just as a test. Let's add this. And now what we can do is begin to tumble around and look to see if there's any unusual gaps or pulling or anything that we may need to deal with. And it looks like it's all pretty clean. It looks like it's all merged together pretty well. All right, so I can go ahead and delete this modifier. And there we go. Now we can come over here to the shading area and click smooth. And there we have our low poly object. So we will ultimately bake the detail from our high poly to the low poly object. And here, this object, this shoulder rest piece, is 54,000 faces, as we saw before. And the low poly object is down to about 850. That's pretty good. Now, there may be some places where we could get rid of a few edges here. It's always hard to know, but it looks like maybe right here, let's try this, X dissolve edges. Yeah, that looks like we could get rid of that. We can't get rid of this one because it's holding that, and this one is holding that. I think that may be about all we can do. So we're down to 810 faces as opposed to 54,000. That's pretty good. I'll go with that. So in the next video, maybe let's try and retopologize the scope.